Hello, thank you for joining me. Today is the anniversary of the death in 1564 of Michelangelo, the sculptor, but also a wonderful painter, notably for his work on the Sistine Chapel, and especially that bit of it that is the creation of Adam. And Michelangelo got this commission because Bramante, who was the architect of St. Peter's Basilica at the time, resented Michelangelo and suggested his name for this task because he thought that as a sculptor he wouldn't be able to do the painting and it would show him up. But how Michelangelo proved him wrong. And this picture of the creation of Adam is really interesting. You've got a picture of God here that is very different from what had been traditional. Traditionally, you had God like an emperor on a throne and often with some military context, certainly a God of power and might. But here you've got a God whose clothing is much more flimsy, whose legs and arms are showing, who's much more intimate and vulnerable. A God perhaps who's much more like the one that we more often these days imagine. And the picture of Adam looking lifeless, holding out that rather limp hand, and the idea of the relationship being one that is important. There's a kind of matching between the positioning of God and Adam, which implies that they're important to each other. And all these things, I think, imply an understanding of the nature of our human relationship with God. The idea, of course, is that this finger touching is what gives Adam life. But actually, it's probably not intended to be physical life because Adam has a navel, which means that he's already been born in a perfectly normal, naturally human way, not in some way, according to Genesis, out of nothing. Now, I think what we've got here is life in the deeper sense, that the energy that human beings need to make the most of their lives comes through this contact with God, and it's God breathing life in the deeper sense into Adam that this picture represents. It's an important one for those of us who are Christians because that's certainly the impetus behind our faith, the idea that it's God whose spirit enlivens and energizes us and gives us meaning and purpose. But I think for all of us, there is this sense that deeper awareness of what it is to really live is what actually counts. It's that sense of knowing what life is all about, not just to something that we go through physically, but something that we can explore spiritually and find meaning and energy from. And so today I'm just going to enjoy being alive, and as a Christian I shall thank God for giving me that life. But all of us, I think, want to say thank you or just be appreciative of the life that we are given.